Residential security. If you have computers, when you leave, make sure you turn them on. Make sure they're password protected. Okay? Don't leave it on with that screen that says your password is accepted, and then you just leave the live computer on and people walk in and they can get any kind of information out of your computer at all if you're not there. So that's what residential security is in a nutshell. It's fortifying yourself, starting out by when you come down your street, in your driveway, when you come up by your home, the landscaping, the observation, the roads, signage, all these things are layers upon layers upon layers. The next thing is lighting. You can have lights around. I don't know what your policy is in this facility, in this subdivision. Some say you can't have them. Some say you have to have them. Others say you have to have a pole light. So I don't mean to go against anybody's policy, but I'm saying if you can, motion detector lights are great. Motion detector lights are really fantastic because they come on with the motion. They're better than they were a couple years ago because they adjust for animals and the wind and the palm trees blowing in the breeze and stuff like that. So you can adjust those a little bit better than before. And they have LED lights on them now, which last forever, don't take much electricity, very inexpensive to operate. But as soon as someone tries to come in through a patio or a back door, or even if you want to put them on the sides of your garage, in the center, in a Y, in the center of your garage to go on when you pull your car in at night. We've got those on our house, and it lights up the sides of the garage and the bushes and everything out there so that we can see if there's anybody out there. So it works out great for us, and we like it a lot. So lights are great. Lights are great in the front of the house and the back of the house because that's happening. The next thing, like I told you about tax time is coming up the first year. Please be careful about what your information because people will steal that. We have a highway interdiction unit. It goes up and down I-75, it goes up and down 41 and all the major state highways. We used to get, and we still do, a large amount of narcotics. Guys would be driving over between Miami and Tampa or Orlando, what have you, and they would be stopped. And we have dogs in our highway interdiction team, and they're designed to smell out narcotics. And if they get a hit on a car, then we can search it. That's probable cause as far as the courts are concerned. And we were getting narcotics and money, okay? People would have $50,000, $100,000 in money and a couple pounds of narcotics or gallons or however they package it and whatever they're selling. And so we'd be able to get them. Now what we're finding is they have cloned credit cards, driver's licenses. They have these gift cards that you get at Walmart or you can get them. They're called green dot cards. You can prepay stuff, put money on them. And what they're doing is transporting that with the money. And even if they get stopped and we see them and write them up for false ID because they have maybe a couple cloned credit cards or something, it's a $1,500 bond. What happens is they get on the phone, they call their boss and says, yeah, the cop stopped me and said that I have cloned credit cards, numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I think they're mistaken, so send me $1,500 for the bond. He gets bonded out and the boss clears that number and takes all the cash out, okay? It's a simple process, easy to do. I wish I thought of it, but, and it takes a little bit of computer work, so cutting and pasting to me is white glue and scissors. But I got a 9-year-old grandson who does all that other stuff for me, so I'm really good in that aspect. But people will steal anything from you, especially from your residence, because that's where we keep everything. That's where we feel the most comfortable. I don't keep my personal things at the office, even though I work with a bunch of other police officers. And I don't keep anything personal in my car, but in my house, I keep all the things that make me me and that I like and my wife and family like and stuff. So I want to keep those secure. And that's what residential security is in a nutshell. Keeping your things secure. Lock your things up. Lock your things up. Let the burglars that are driving up here looking for an easy mark go, this isn't going to be an easy mark, let's go someplace else. Okay? We have people that are watching. They have a neighborhood watch. I know you guys were talking about neighborhood watch signs. That's great, because my neighbor leaves and he goes to his sister's and mother's house over in the East Coast. He and his wife do, and he says, hey, listen, I'm going to leave for the weekend, go over to my family's house on the East Coast, and I'm going to leave a couple lights on, the doors are locked. Would you pick up my papers and pick up the mail? We're going to be on for 3 days. I say, sure. And he says, park your police car in my driveway if you want. So I get his mail, look through it, see the bills and stuff, take his paper, throw it on the porch, and that's just what friendliness and neighborhood watch is. That's part of what it is You're not on everybody's birthday present list and Christmas card list, but you're just friendly neighbors. Hi, how you doing? And that's all. I was listening to a lot of you folks talking before we started when you were coming in saying, hi, how you doing? I applaud you for, number one, giving up your afternoon to listen to me, and secondly, for coming here at all, because this is a fantastic turnout. And I really, really am very happy to see this, because I know that you wouldn't be here if you didn't want to be, and consequently, I want to be able to get that information out to you. And the information is this: lock everything you have up. Lock your cars in your driveway. I've been a policeman for a long time. I just color my hair this way for the seniors discount. I can't get my wife to lock her car in the driveway. Doing this for 3 decades. Can't. Hey, lock your car. Well, I don't have anything valuable in there. So what? You have a garage door opener in there. You don't lock your car in the driveway. I'm the bad guy. I take that garage door opener, and when you're gone, I can push that button and come right in your house and take everything you got. So those are some of the things you have to think about. And in this world, you have to think about it. You have to pay a little bit more attention than we used to in the past, because this world's a little bit more complicated, a little bit more involved. We're having some more crimes than normal in certain areas and certain types of crimes. Part of that is because of the economy. People that wouldn't normally commit crimes do commit them. We went into a school just a couple weeks ago, and they stole some cameras. And there was on the whiteboard, it says, had to feed the kids, sorry. And I don't know whether it's true or not, because we haven't caught the guy, but the reality of it is, it kind of pulled at your heartstrings a little. Say, guy's out of work, he's destitute, he's got a family. He broke into school, which wasn't a person, it's the school board with a $1.3 billion a year budget. Took a couple cameras and probably took them to a pawn shop somewhere and got enough money to feed his family. Not that that's the right thing to do, but consequently, our economy and the way that the world is today, some people are doing things they shouldn't normally do in regard to that. So we've talked a lot about residential security, the handouts, especially if you have sliding glass doors or windows. I've got some examples and not blueprints, but sketches on how you can adjust them, how can you make them safer, put pins in your doors, things of that nature. Hinges, they sell them now. We used to tell people, drill a hole in the hinge, put a screw in there. Now you can just buy them at Walmart or Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. Office Depot doesn't sell them. But any hardware store, you can get them and put them on there. And there's a little pin that sticks out and the hinge closes right into it. And even though you pull the door and break it, you can't get it off because the hinges won't come off. You can pop the hinges out, but they still won't come off. So that's real cool stuff. A lot of things are doing technology. If you have an alarm, use it. Use it. We go to a lot of homes and they say, I had an alarm. Was it on? No. Thank you. You know, it's a pain in the neck to go out there and every time you leave, go, okay, I got to set it. Bing, 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 bing. And then when you come home, I got to, turn off bing, 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 bing. And sometimes you don't do it. Sometimes you hit the wrong number, and the first thing is the phone ring. It says alarm company, what's your password? No, I got to remember my password, So sometimes it is a pain in the neck, but if you get into the habit of doing it, it's easier to do every time, and constantly it becomes second nature to you, and set it, because that's what it's for, is the alarm is good. Alarm's good. People don't like alarms because they go off. They know that the cops are getting called, and if you have one with a horn or a siren that's in your soffits or in your roof, it goes off, lets all the neighbors know what's happening. So once again, I'm the bad guy. I don't want to be observed. I'm looking around here. I don't want to be observed. So alarms are good. If you have them, use them. And that's it. We've covered a lot of subjects and concepts here. Can I answer any questions for anyone?
Silver service on a tray,
okay.
And candelabra,
right?
And it's insured.
Okay. Number one, I'd take a picture of it. So for your insurance company, in case anything happens to it, whether it's been stolen or there's a flood or a hurricane or what have you, in regard to that. If you're going to be away for more than 2 or 3 days, I would take it off of your dining room table or your side bar and put it somewhere else. We've had one, the old burglars used to steal stuff like that. But it's harder and harder to find those things, number one, unless they're heirlooms or passed down, or you live in you got a lot of money and you buy the real silver stuff anymore. Usually they're looking for cash, jewelry, real fast jewelry. They don't want to be carrying, they're lazy. They don't want to be carrying a silver service, okay? And when they take it into a pawn shop,
Coming your way.
he's not going to have as big a market for it as he used to 20 years ago. Okay, so it's probably not one of the top things people would steal because they don't know. A lot of these people that will break into your house probably can't read, so when they turn it upside down, if it says Paul Revere, him again. Yeah, they have no concept of what that is, in all honesty. All honesty, some of these folks can't read English, and consequently, they don't know what they've got. So I would take pictures of it, keep it with your insurance policy, let it know what it is, and like if you're going to be gone for a while, put it somewhere else. Yeah, you can buy locks for your windows. If you have sliders that go up and down, for example, or even side to side, you can go to Home Depot and Lowe's, get them, and their locks you just actually screw on the inside, and they don't mess up your window at all. You get them the same color as your windows, and what happens is the windows only open so far this way or this way. Maybe you can only 6 inches, 8 inches. So you have plenty of air coming in if you want fresh air, cool air at this time of the year, but nobody can come in there, okay? And they can't reach up underneath and get it either because it's high enough they can't do that, or reach across from the side if you have a slider like that. So,
What type of information would you encourage us to gather if we feel that a crime is being committed? I know that if there are cars involved, try and get the license plate number. But what are you looking for specifically as a description, something we can really focus on so that if a crime does occur, you'll be better able to handle it?
Well, of course, as much information as you can give us. The reality of it is if you're seeing something happen, most people, even police officers, at that moment, they're focused on maybe just one thing and don't take the whole picture in. I go to a lot of banks, not because I have money in them, but just to teach them. And a lot of the people say that they've been in bank robberies and all they saw was a big hole of that gun. Okay? They didn't pay any attention to, was he wearing a hat? Did he have a mustache? Did he have a Mickey Mouse mask on? Nothing. Some of them say, just looked at a hole in the gun. So sometimes we just focus on one thing. If you can kind of step back and take that big picture and say, it was a green Chevrolet and there were 2 white males, middle-aged, wearing blue jeans, and I forget, one had a blue shirt and one had a green shirt, and they went eastbound. Okay? That's fantastic information. When you call us, we'll have, there's a list of what the dispatchers will ask you. And as you're talking, they'll ask you, what happened, where did it happen, when did it happen, who did it? Okay, 2 men, and they were in a green Chevrolet. And as you're talking, she or he is actually typing that. It's going out on our MDCs, which are our mobile data computers, going right out to our zone cars and our patrol cars throughout the entire area. And it's coming right up just like an instant chat right on there. And we're seeing it as it happens. The deputies, we have not only that, we have the radios, we have pagers, and cell phones. So we have instant communication in many different forms. We'll get out there. Some will set up away from the scene of the crime, looking for that green Chevrolet as it drives away. Others will come up and say, are they hiding here? And some will come up to your house or your business and start the investigation of the crime and see what it is. The more information you get, who, what, where, when, why, and how, that's the things that we look for. Who did it? What did they do? When did they do it? Why is our job, and how did they do it is one thing you can tell us too. So yeah, I saw them. They broke into that car. They smashed it with a hammer. They reached in and they pulled out the laptop computer. They got into a green Chevrolet, and they went down the road toward the exit. That's great information. That's great information. Not too many green Chevrolets that will stop have 2 guys in it with a laptop and a hammer. Because when we invariably we're going to see 100 green Chevys. As soon as you say, hey, it's a green Chevrolet, and oh my, every Chevrolet is going to be green. But as we stop them, if what they have inside their car or on their person or what they're wearing is evidence as well. So that makes us able to make a better arrest. Not saying we just stopped it because they had a green Chevy. We stopped them when we talked to them. Then we saw the fruits of the crime or the weapons or whatever in regard to that. So as much information as you can give us without getting yourself in danger.